And hello, I'm Metatyranonite, and if you look at the cards I've got here, I'm going to be talking about the fascinating Fiends that have just been released. There are currently 3 of them, and they'll have some pretty good attack or defense. Not that defense means anything these days. Let's take a look. From what I'm reading, the fascinating Fiends are basically going to revolve around, well, trap hole. Sounds very strange, but it just might be what we need for slowing down the format, at least. It might give us some answers to, well, the suppressor dragons that are coming out. There are a lot of trap hole cards, and that's what these cards do. So I'm going to take a look at the first one. Atora no Kawakuma, or what we would call an Atla the Captivating Demon. And what this bitch does, she's a level 4 insect effect, looks more like a plant. Earth. She's got 1800 attack and 1000 defense, so she's a beater. That's always good. There's no negative effects. And her effect is all of her effects are continuous, meaning you can't be stopped by a Shockmaster or something. So let's take a look. See, this card is unaffected by the effects of Hole and Trap Hole normal trap cards except Dark Trap Hole. The reason why this is here, I'm guessing, is because in Japan they have different words. In Japan, this is like Pitfall or something, and those are holes, but yeah. Except Dark Trap Hole. I'm guessing that's something else completely. You can activate Hole and Trap Hole normal trap cards from your hand except Dark Trap Hole, and their effects cannot. And the effects of normal trap cards you control cannot be negated. So that's looking pretty good. First off, your opponent can't bottomless it. If your opponent plays Dark Hole, this monster is still going to be here. If you play Dark Hole, this monster is still going to be here. Second, you can activate normal trap cards from your hand. Now, I'm not sure if that really counts during your opponent's turn, but it's a trap card, so it just might be. I'm not sure. If it does, that's just fucking nuts. But I'm not really quite sure. But if you can hold bottomless in your hand, and your opponent's gonna summon monsters, think and you're gonna be like, bottomless from my hand. That's pretty nutso. And it will definitely up. And with this thing sitting on the field, it will definitely up your opponent's paranoia. So that will force them to try and play more defensively. Let's look at the second one. I'm going through this alphabetically, by the way. Kazura no Kawakuma, or Kazura the Captivating Demon. She's a level 4 plant monster with 800 attack and 2000 defense. Now, defense doesn't really mean much of anything these days. I mean, everything explodes. Your opponent might hit it, but then, yeah. The last monster was a beater. That's always a plus. It's nice and big and tall. Your opponent's not gonna want to attack it. You can kill shit with it, but let's look. Ignore that. This card is unaffected by the effects of Hole and Trap Hole normal trap cards, except Dark Trap Hole. And whenever one such card is activated, except Dark Trap Hole, you can either search your deck for a fascinating monster, or special summon one from your deck. But you can only use that effect once per turn. So, this is your search bitch. I'm guessing. Right now, there's only 3 fascinating themes. But there's nothing from stopping you from getting another one of her, except for the fact where her effect in general can only be used once per turn. And the fact that her stats aren't really that great since defense doesn't do anything. Anyways, let's see. Again, this thing is your opponent's not gonna acid trap hole. A, that card doesn't ever see play, possibly until Fascinating Fiends become popular. B, it's unaffected. It doesn't. It will survive a Dark Hole, which is actually a bit of a plus. And after you activate that Dark Hole, you can either search or special summon. And I'm supposing if you have this bitch out with... Oh, what the hell is that going on? Search this bitch with, yeah, anyways, you search out, like, a Torah or something. You don't even have to send any cards, and you're not gonna overlay. You're just gonna swing with these two, and you're gonna just, like, sit with, like, 4 different trap holes in your hand. Oh, you normal summon a tour guy? Trap hole from my hand. And now we're gonna take a look at the last one. Tryon. Or, if you're Japanese, Torion. Just like the other ones, she is unaffected by holes, except Dark Trap Hole. That will get her. And when this card is normal summoned, you can add a hole card from your deck to your hand, except Dark Trap Hole. And when it's special summoned, you can pop a back row. So, this card is pretty good. If you have a Torah on the field, and you have her in your hand, this chick in your hand, you're just gonna normal summon, you're gonna flash your bottomless or your trap hole, or maybe even your dark hole, and your opponent's just gonna feel a lot of butthurt, basically, because they won't really have any adequate answers. I mean, if they have some dark bribes or that solemn judgment, they're definitely going to want to pay half the life points to activate. And they can go for it. But, anyways, I'm not sure about if Tora's effect. I'm not sure if she just, like, lets you activate, like, trap hole from your hand during your opponent's fucking turn. That's something that would have to be looked into. But, anyways, yeah. So we've got search for monsters, search for trap holes, and beater, who lets you activate trap holes during your opponent's turn from your hand. And so, heavy people are gonna have card destruction is gonna look a lot like Heavy Storm, only it might not help out all that much. Currently, Dueling Network isn't working for me, so I can't see if Dueling Network has these cards on there. But if more cards seem to show up, I will probably look into these. Because they're not, like, retardedly stupid. That they could do shit if they really wanted to. Anyways, I'm gonna let you off. Meta-Tyrannonite, and GG's.